Hello, commanders. Please take a seat. Okay, we're gonna start. Hello, everyone. This is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of. Oh, this is the wrong title. Give me a second. This is for the 1123 for the 22nd of March, which is the SITREP. So this is SITREP for the Ukraine war or the special military operation in Ukraine, and we go to cover all these things. So as usual, remember to register yourself under the light, and also do make sure that for the new guys, make sure that you go to my subordinate to sub with them, and let's start. So the first thing first, there's a Ukrainian MiG-29 shot down over Ukraine, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. It's unclear where the shot down happened. As usual, it's not revealed to us. So now over at the Kursk front, we have the return of Goevo in the reporting by the Russian Defense Ministry. So this means that the rumors of Goevo, or maybe started by me as well, it's not real. Which is why it's important that we keep to our sources. We do not make things up. And so according to the Russian Defense Ministry, now we go back to the 4 places Russians attacking Gogoyevka, Oleshnya, Gornal, as well as Goevo. Loknya is also mentioned by the Russian Defense Ministry in their reporting, probably an attack over there, but more likely is a shelling, but we're not sure. It's interesting that they put Loknya and Saki as part of the Belgorod direction. However, this is nowhere close to Belgorod. Very bizarre reporting from the Russian Defense Ministry side. And it might also mean that they are now classifying the what we will call a Sumy front, the Belgorod front. Because this report here, you can see in the Belgorod direction, several group of forces inflict losses on the AFU and one territorial defense group at Hrunovka, Loknya, and Saki. Hrunovka, actually this one, Hrunivka. And so this is all part of the Kursk front. However, they say in the Belgorod direction. However, why the Ukrainian attack is actually over here, not here. So you can see how this goes. And then on a separate report where the Russians talk about the Kursk front, this is a separate report where they mention the 4 settlements in Kursk, which means that I believe this is a sign that the Russian forces is now looking at attacking into the Sumy region right now, and they're going to call this part as the Belgorod direction. So this is a very interesting development. Previously, attacks in these regions would have been listed under the Kursk report. Now they are listed under the SMO report, the Special Military Operation report. It's a separate. So for those that do not know, the Special Military Operation report, which is basically all the fighting along the Ukraine war, is a separate report from the Kursk front report, where they fight against the incursion of the Ukrainians into the Russian territory, which is actually this part here. This is a separate report from their SMO report. So now that these attacks are being noted inside the SMO report, just make me think that this is going to be a Sumy front. And for the first is Loknya, which is just next to Basivka, where the Russians has most likely have taken control. This could be an attack. So I just want to note that this is a possibility. This is not definitely not confirmed yet, but it's a very, very good possibility. Over in the Grafovka sector, so Grafovka, let's name it after this. Shelling is being mentioned at Turia. The Ukrainians are not known to have attacked Demidovka, Grafovka, or Prilyasia. This is not mentioned by any of the sources anymore for now. However, there is a geolocation of a drone strike on Ukrainian forces just in the south of Demidovka. So this is where the Ukrainian forces is defending the place, and then it got drone strike. So the Ukrainians probably is holding on. I believe they want to try to go in, but it looks like it's not very successful tentatively. So that's all from the Kursk front. We're moving on to the Kharkiv front. Kharkiv is over here. So this is the Kharkiv front. At the Kharkiv front, we only have one report, one location mentioned, which is at Voschansk. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, the Battle of Voschansk continue, and to me, this is basically the Stalingrad of Ukraine war, in the sense of how destroyed the city is. It's super destroyed. So that's all for the Kharkiv front. Over at the Voreshna front. So this is Voreshna. Voreshna is over here. The front line here, there is no reported fighting along the front line, which is very bizarre. But we do have a geolocation of FPV drone strike at Koloziazny, as well as Novovasilivka. So the drone strike is noted in this region here. So definitely the Russians are operating. Just that we do not have the reports of the Russians attacking, I guess. And the drone strike in this position means that the Ukrainian forces have some positions in this area here. This is a sensible place, as this is right next to Krasny Pershi, where it's under threat. So they can reinforce this position. They can travel down the road to Kayamka, as well as immediately engage the Russian forces bridgehead. So this is a sensible place where the Ukrainians have gathered their forces. So let's wait and see how these continue to play out. We move on to the next front line at the Kupiansk. At the Kupiansk, only mentioned place is Petropavlivka. This is only mentioned. This is mentioned by the Ukrainians, and that's about it from the Kupiansk. Nothing particularly special here, as usual. Over at the Borova front. Borova front, we have the mention of Zarizove, according to the Ukrainians, and Nadia, also by the Ukrainians as well. Nothing particularly stands out here. The Russian forces are still stuck at Zarizove after this long time. Moving on to the next front line at the northern flank of the Liman front. So this is Liman, and we basically cut it off like this. This is the northern flank, and this is the southern flank. At the northern flank, we have mention of Chaneshchina. The Russians are attacking there. The Russians are also attacking Novo-Mikhailivka, Novi, as well as Andriivka is being shelled, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. What is significant is the frontline changes just southwest of Novolubivka, where the Russian forces taken some of the forests. I believe I've already mentioned this in our previous situation report. Over in the southern flank, we have the mention of fighting at Koloziazny. The frontline changes in the east of Yampolivka, which I believe I reported as well in the last SITREP. Fighting is reported at Horske and Dibrova. So that's all from the southern flank of the Liman front. Dibrova, of course, is interesting. Is mentioned, and we move on. Like this is interesting to take note of. See whether this will become a sustained thing or not. We move into the Siversk front. At the Siversk front, fighting is reported at Blokhorivka, Smyrny, as well as Siversk, which is probably a shelling report, or it could be coming from Vinka. So that's all. This continues. Of course, mention of Smyrny is very interesting because previously they mentioned Ivano-Darivka. So did the Ukrainians successfully push the Russians back? Who knows, man. So the Ukrainians sometimes pick very weird places to talk about their reports. And then we move on into the Bakhmut front. This is Bakhmut. At the Bakhmut front, there's no mention of anything in the north. The mentioned stuff is actually in the south, where the Ukrainians, like I said, they always mention weird place. They say Andriivka, but they say west of Andriivka. So it's probably in this area here. So the Russians are operating probably around the canal. And yeah, so that's all. Usually they will have said Bilahora. You see, usually they will have said Bilahora. So this time around they changed the name and they picked some place much deeper into the Russian territory to declare where the Russians are attacking. So yeah, it's weird. Moving on to the Torex front. So this is the Torex front. So we cut down, we will cut down into two. This is thorax. This is the New York sector. This is thorax sector. At the thorax sector, we have the usual with Russian forces attacking at Dashne, Dilievka, and thorax. So strategic situation unchanged. There's still a massive fog of war over the Battle of Thorax. No one knows what the hell is happening over there. Over in the southern flank, in the New York sector, the Russians are attacking at Petromenelivka, Alexandropil, and Kalinove. This is shocking, or not shocking, but interesting. Kalinove and Petromenelivka has not been mentioned in a long time. Kalinove particularly is since the 8th of February, whereas Petromenelivka is since 20th of March. These are not usual places that is being mentioned in our reports, so this is something more unusual. Moving into the Pokrov front. This is Pokrov, and this is the Pokrov front with the northern sector, Minograd sector, Pokrov sector, and the southern sector. Over in the northern sector, in the northern flank, fighting is reported at Zelene Pole, Vodyane Druhi, Nova Potovka, Yelizavetivka. This one particularly is by the Russian Defense Ministry's report. It's not mentioned by the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians are mentioned the rest around here. So definitely fighting has returned, little bit more stronger in this area here. Moving into the Minograd sector, we have fighting reported towards Pokrov, Novoukranka, Novopalivka, Lysivka, and Minograd. Geolocation of infantry fighting vehicle got hit by a FPV drone was noting Ukrainian forces indeed is still defending the city. Nothing new in this sector. This front line is usually very tight. This is going to be a very hard place for any front line change, so I don't expect too much. Over in the Pokrov sector. Pokrov sector, Russian forces attacking at Kotline, Udashne, and Uspenivka. This is the usual, nothing particularly new around here. Over in the southern sector, we have the mention of Kotlerivka, Troitsky, as well as Novo Andrievka. In the south of Stripne, geolocation of Russian forces is noted. This is a very big capture. Russian forces is way further than where we understood the front line was. So, and if we pull it down a little bit, you can see the tactical or strategic implications. The Russians are pushing in southward towards Andrievka, and the potentially the Russians could have also taken all of these areas here as well, based on logical understanding of the geography around here. So we shall take note and see how these continue to progress. With the geolocation, I believe the Ukrainian mapping is likely to update their map pretty soon on this sector. But as of this moment, as for this recording, these are all the latest front lines, latest geolocations. There's no more new intelligence for now. At least not from at least it's from my trusted ones. There are probably other stuff which I don't map it in from other sources which I do not trust as much. So over in the Andrievka front, this Andrievka, the Andrievka strategic situation remains the same. Fighting is reported at Oleksievka. Battle of Andrievka continues. Battle of Constantinople continues, and the fighting moving towards Rosliv is the same. Bahati is not mentioned, so that's all from the Andrievka front. Moving on to the Velika Novosilka sector. This is the Velika Novosilka sector. The actions primarily is in the northern flank. Fighting is mentioned towards Oradne. So Oradne is over here. And fighting is reported at Vesely, and shelling at Fedorivka was noted. So this is pretty much the only things that's happening over at the Velika Novosilka right now. Probably this is to straighten the front line along here. And of course, Vesely is the front line town. But there is a major defense line just south of Vesely. So the Russians trying to break through might find it a little bit difficult. So that's all for the Velika Novosilka sector. And we move to the Zaporizhia front. This is Zaporizhia front. This is the Huyai Pole sector. Orikhiv sector and the Kayamsky sector. The Russians, of course, is trying to KO the Ukrainian side. So over in the KO sector, Russian forces are still continuing their offensive operation in this sector. Fighting is moving towards Novodanilivka, mentioned by the Ukrainian side, and then fighting is reported at Shibaki and Kayamsky. Geolocation of Russian forces southeast of Stepove was noted, confirming Russians' presence in the sector of Stepove, but that's about it. The geolocation is an attack by the motorized rifle unit. So that's all. So that's all from the Russian forces, Russian side. Sorry, not Russian side. So far, that's all from the Zaporizhzhia front. Sorry, I just woke up, very groggy. And and moving on to the Kherson front. And before you suddenly run away because you see Kherson, that's the end of the report. So as usual, subscribe. We are going for 100,000. So please do your part, soldiers. And also press the like button and check out, of course, yesterday's SITREP. If you haven't watched it, the YouTube, our enemies, the YouTube Algo army has been hitting us very badly lately. So we are losing a lot of grounds against them. So soldiers, I need your support. So over in the Kherson front, the Dnipro direction, Pre-Dniprovsky was mentioned, which is over here. So this could be a mention of the attack by Russian forces towards Pre-Dniprovsky. Antonivka was shelled, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, and so that's about it. There's not much other reports over in the Kherson front, and that's it. This is the summary for the day of 1123 for the 22nd of March. So thank you for watching, gentlemen, ladies, commanders, and I'll have a great Sunday, and I'll see you guys in the next update. You're dismissed. Wow.